Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the procession to enter the hall. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the inaugural Carlo Fonseca Memorial Lecture and the inauguration of the 30th anniversary academic sessions of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya. A warm welcome to all those present here and all the participants joining through online platforms. Before we proceed with the day's events, we wish to pay our respects to the Chancellor of the University of Kelaniya, who passed away this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep standing and observe 2 minutes of silence in respect of the Chief Incumbent of the Paliyagoda Vidyalankara Pirivena, Agamaha Pandita, Most Venerable Velamatiye Dharmakirti Sri Kusaladhamma Thero, the Chancellor of the University of Kelaniya. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may now be seated. As we commence this evening's proceedings, I'd like to quote the French poet Paul Valéry. A great man is one who leaves others at a loss after he is gone. We are here today to celebrate such a great man, whose life and work is autonomous with the Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya. We are truly at a loss as the 30th anniversary celebrations unfold, as it is the first time in the history of the faculty that we do not have Professor Carlo Fonseca with us in person. But his presence is felt everywhere around us. His memory lives on in many of us here, who have known him in the various roles that he has played in our lives as a teacher, as a mentor, a friend, and a father figure. As we celebrate our 30th anniversary this year, I'm humbled by the opportunity to host the inaugural Carlo Fonseca Memorial Lecture together with the inauguration of the 30th anniversary academic sessions. In order to commence the day's proceedings, I kindly request you to please rise for the university anthem.
Desakitu gosa urumaya suratina siat suwanda vidu kirana bedadena sarasandaki vidulakara udagina kalaniya sarasavi mata kalaniya sarasavi mata Sayuravi Jayadanu Anadena Sat Siluminavi Isuru Sadalana Jai Jiva Ulpadavanno Sidena Kalaniya Sarasavi Mata Kalaniya Sarasavi Mata Siya Desakitu Gosa Urumaya Suratina Siat Suwanda Vidu Kirana Bedadena Sarasandaki Vidulakara Udagina Kalaniya Sarasavi Mata Kalaniya Sarasavi Mata Sita Suviyat Vivituru Nanaguna Yugayan Yugayat Kayata Tilinatara Karupirivara Sahamululova Sarasana Kalaniya Sarasavi Mata Vitu Ambare Babaleva Siya Desakitu Gosa Urumaya Suratina Siat Suwanda Vidu Kirana Bedadena Sarasandaki Vidulakara Udagina Kalaniya Sarasavi Mata Vidu Ambare Babaleva
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the traditional lighting of the oil lamp. To light the oil lamp, I would like to cordially invite Professor Nilanthi De Silva, Vice Chancellor, University of Kelaniya, Professor Janaki Heva Vicente, the Dean, Faculty of Medicine, Vidya Jyoti, Professor Janaka De Silva, the orator tonight, Senior Professor Rajatha Wickramasinghe, representing the academics of the Faculty of Medicine, Mr. S. Manivannan, Senior Assistant Registrar, Faculty of Medicine, representing officials of the university, Professor Andradhani Kasturiratna and Professor Sachit Mettananda, co-chairpersons of the Conference Organizing Committee, Mr. Pasinduvali Singha and Mr. Udaran Selvaratnam, student co-chairs of the Conference Organizing Committee. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Professor Carlo Fonseca was the founder, dean, and the very first member of staff at our faculty. He was succeeded by Professor Janaka De Silva, Professor Rajitha Vikramasinghe, Professor Nilantha De Silva, and Professor Prashantha Vijay Singha, under whose guidance the faculty grew from strength to strength. Our present dean, Senior Professor Janaki Heva Vicente, leads the faculty with both grace and style. She makes the hardest of tasks look easy, and she is an inspiration to all of us. I would like to cordially invite Madam Dean to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Latika, for those kind words. I'm not sure whether I truly believe them, but Your Lordship, Justice Yasantha Kodagoda, Professor Kapila Pereira, Secretary of Education, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, Chairman UGC, Dr. Palita Abekon, Consultant to the WHO, Vice Chancellor, Deans of the faculties of the University of Kelaniya, family members of Professor Carlo Fonseca and Madam Pearl Fonseca, distinguished guests, colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen, including all of those who are with us on the online platform. Let me begin by expressing our deep sorrow and sense of loss at the demise of our Chancellor, Agamaha Pandita, Most Venerable Velimitiyave Dharmakirtis C. Kusalananda Thera, who passed away last night. May the Most Venerable Thero attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Now, let me, on behalf of the faculty, warmly welcome all of you to the inauguration of the academic sessions of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya, and the first ever Carlo Fonseca Memorial Lecture. The faculty, as you know, celebrates its 30th anniversary this year, and these academic sessions are the highlight of our 30th anniversary celebrations. The faculty, as is the tradition, organizes a massive public exhibition every 5 years. On previous occasions, these exhibitions proved to be very successful and was well received and commended by all. However, this year it was not to be. As the saying goes, hope springs eternal in the human breast, and similarly, we at the medical faculty did not give up hope and was loath to give up the idea, perhaps still a couple of months earlier. Nevertheless, I'm happy to state that the very innovative and energetic steering committee of the 30th anniversary celebrations, undeterred by the COVID pandemic that thwarted many of our plans, continued to devise, plan, and organize various other activities, which included webinars, Facebook competitions, YouTube videos, etc., throughout the year in parallel with international days related to major health topics. This saw an extensive reach and participation, possibly fulfilling our main objective of increasing awareness of the public in these issues and these problems. If I may paraphrase Thomas Carlyle at this point, no great man lives in vain. The history of the world, in this case, this faculty, is but a biography of such great men. Professor Carlo Fonseca was one such and is a vital and integral part of that history. Therefore, as we look back on 30 years of this faculty's history, we take this opportunity to pay tribute to Professor Carlo Fonseca, a man who laid the foundation for this faculty with his immense vision and foresight. This will be the first such lecture in his memory, which we hope to continue once every 2 years as a routine event. It is also of significance that the students themselves have organized several events that have included green concepts and sustainability, ethical issues, ethical discussions, debates, etc., that would have actually made Professor Carlo Fonseca very proud. He was, as you know, a man who firmly believed of the importance of humanities in medical education. We have also planned a cultural event to mark the aesthetic prowess of Carlo Fonseca with songs composed by him, which will be performed by our very own medical students, which we hope will take place later this year or early next year. Thus, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to say that the faculty has risen to the innumerable challenges thrown up at us by the COVID pandemic over the past year. The organization committee has worked very hard to put in place a diverse academic program of very high scientific quality, which will be conducted over the next 2 days and will culminate on a day of student research presentations by medical students as well as those of the allied health sciences. This will be held on Sunday, the 31st of October. Finally, I thank all of you on behalf of the faculty for your participation at this event, both in person and for those who are joining us virtually. And I do regret and humbly apologize to those who could not be invited to this occasion physically due to the current COVID restrictions. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Madam. Senior Professor Nilanthi De Silva has been a close confidant of late Professor Carlo Fonseca. She is the pride of our faculty for being the very first female Vice-Chancellor of the University of Kelaniya, who has displayed great strength and leadership in guiding the university through difficult times. I now call upon Madam Vice-Chancellor to address this gathering.
Thank you, Latika, for that kind introduction. Your Lordship, Yasanta Kodagode, and Madam, Professor Kapila Pereira, Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Professor Janaki Heva Vicente, the Dean of our Faculty of Medicine, and Professor Kalinga Mudali, the Dean of our Faculty of Science, Professor Janaka De Silva, the orator for this evening, other distinguished invitees. I hope that the family of Professor Carlo Fonseca will be with us soon. I'm told that they're stuck in traffic. Students, colleagues, members of the other members of the staff of this university. Let me start by expressing my deep sorrow and regret at the demise of our Chancellor, the Chancellor of the University of Kelaniya, and the Nayaka Thero of the Vidyalankara Pirivena, our most Venerable Kusaladhamma, Valamitiave Kusaladhamma Thero. his passing away is a great loss to our university, and we all mourn his demise greatly. It is indeed a great honor and a privilege for me to speak a few words on this occasion, which jointly celebrates, as Janaki just explained, the 30th anniversary of the establishment of this faculty and the life of our founder dean, Professor Carlo Fonseca, who passed away just over 2 years ago. I am tremendously privileged to have learned physiology from Professor Carlo in his heyday 40 years ago. In the Faculty of Medicine in the University of Colombo. Like many of the senior staff in our faculty, I also owe him my career as an academic in the University of Kelaniya. He was entrusted with the task of establishing the 5th medical faculty in this country, of converting a private medical school that had created so much civil unrest into the 4th faculty of the University of Kelaniya. He was the dean who recruited me in 1993 as a probationary lecturer, just in time to teach parasitology to our very first batch of medical students. Because of his trust in me, I had the opportunity to grow and develop as an academic while learning from all the challenges that were associated with the establishment of a new faculty. Professor Carlo was a remarkable man of many talents, and you will hear more about some of them in a few minutes during this evening's memorial lecture. I'm sure if you speak to all the people whose lives he influenced, each of them will talk about a very different aspect of his personality, of his character, and of his abilities. But please allow me to mention just 3 of the many lessons that I learned from Prof. Carlo, lessons for life which go well beyond the narrow confines of physiology. Firstly, his humility and his willingness to listen to people from all walks of life and all the ages. As a dean, he allowed me, as a young probationary lecturer, to argue with him on matters that were of crucial importance, such as the basis on which the common merit list for medical graduates should be compiled. That was many, many years ago. Over the years, he and I have had passionate arguments on many matters, but he never took the stance that his point of view should prevail simply because of his age and seniority. Secondly, his willingness to go beyond his chosen academic field of physiology to encourage the development of other disciplines that he perceived as important for our common good. It was from that perspective that he included family medicine together with community medicine in our medical faculty curriculum right from its very inception in 1991, at a time when no other medical school in Sri Lanka recognized it as a discipline. Family medicine is now a separate department in our faculty and recognized as a clinical subject in the core disciplines listed in our newly revised National Subject Benchmark Statement on Medicine. It was also from that same perspective that he set up a disability studies unit in our faculty in 1993. The DSU grew into the Department of Disability Studies, and the staff of that department have now give of their services in the faculty's Ayati Center for Children with Disabilities, which helps to build better lives for children from all parts of the country. We welcome the members of the family of Professor Carlo Fonseca. The third lesson stems from his rationalist approach to life. He chose to base his life on what we learn through the scientific approach rather than on faith and belief in divine powers. He was very public in proclaiming this philosophy and in debunking what he saw as religious myths. But it also meant that he recognized the value of scientific research, and he tried whenever possible to recruit academics with a good track record of scientific research and publication, in addition to their performance at undergraduate or postgraduate examinations. We see the fruits of that approach today in a Faculty of Medicine that prides itself on its research output. As the Vice Chancellor of the University of Kelaniya and a former Dean of this faculty, I am very proud to be able to say that among the 7 Sri Lankan universities that are listed in the Scimago institutional rankings for 2021, although the Kelaniya University holds 2nd place in the overall rankings, it is in 1st place for research, thanks to publications from the Faculty of Medicine. Ladies and gentlemen, I think every one of us have had wonderful teachers and mentors who have made us what we are today, but it is not often that we find the occasion to pay public tribute to them. I thank the Dean, Professor Janaki Heva Vicenti, and her team for having organized this event, for having provided us an opportunity to recall and appreciate Professor Carlo Fonseca, who has given so much, including his mortal remains, to this Faculty of Medicine. I also want to congratulate the conference organizing committee, which has put together the academic sessions that will take place virtually over the next 3 days. I know that all the uncertainties that face us these days make it a major challenge to organize any kind of conference. However, the many symposia and plenaries touch on a range of different health-related topics, and the speakers include our own academics who have worked on these areas together with other national and international experts. I'm also very pleased to see that the undergraduate students on the MBBS and the BSc Honours in Speech and Hearing Sciences degree programs will present some of their research findings on the 3rd and final day of the sessions. I hope the next 3 days will stimulate all participants to do more and better research in their chosen fields and encourage yet another generation of medical and health professionals to carry forward the lamp that was lit by Professor Carlo Fonseca.
Thank you, Madam. Each year, the Professor Carlo Fonseca Gold Medal is awarded to the medical graduate with the overall best performance in the MBBS degree program at the General Convocation of the University of Kelaniya. Today, we would like to felicitate Professor Carlo Fonseca Gold Medal recipients from batch 20 to batch 24 of the Faculty of Medicine. Upper division in the final MBBS examination with distinctions in anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, pathology, parasitology, family medicine, and general medicine. Gold medals: Professor Carlo Fonseca Gold Medal for the best performance in the MBBS degree examination 2007-2008. Gold medal for the best performance in the second examination for medical degrees 2012. Gold medals in anatomy, biochemistry, parasitology, family medicine, and general medicine. Dr. Luke currently is working as a lecturer in the Department of Physiology, Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya, and is a senior registrar in neurology at the National Hospital of Sri Lanka. Chandrasiri, batch 21. First class in the final MBBS examination with distinctions in medicine, surgery, and pediatrics. Gold medals: Professor Carlo Fonseca Gold Medal for the best performance in the MBBS degree examination 2008-2009. Gold medal for the best performance in the second examination for medical degrees 2013. Gold medal in pediatrics. Dr. Chandrasiri is currently a lecturer in the Department of Pharmacology, Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo, and a registrar in medicine at the National Hospital of Sri Lanka. batch 22. First class in the final MBBS examination with distinctions in clinical medicine, psychiatry, obstetrics and gynecology, family medicine, forensic medicine, public health, parasitology, medical microbiology and physiology. Gold medals. Professor Carlo Fonseca Gold Medal for the best performance in the MBBS degree examination for the academic year 2009-2010. Gold Medal for the best performance at the final examination for medical degrees 2016. Venerable Kirivattuduwe Sri Panyasara Memorial Gold Medal presented by the Alumni Association of the University of Kelaniya for receiving the highest marks at the final examination for medical degrees. Gold Medal for the best performance at the second examination for medical degrees 2014. Professor Asoka Desanayaka Gold Medal for obtaining the highest marks at the first examination for medical degrees. Gold medals in physiology, medical microbiology, parasitology, public health, psychiatry, obstetrics and gynecology, and family medicine. Dr. De Silva is currently working as a registrar in ophthalmology at the National Eye Hospital, Colombo. Harshan Kavinga Pathirajan, batch 23. First class in final MBBS examination with distinctions in obstetrics and gynecology, medicine and surgery. Gold medals. Professor Carlo Fonseca Gold Medal for the best overall performance 2010-2011. Professor Asoka Disanayaka Gold Medal for the best performance at the first examination for medical degrees 2010-2011. Gold Medal for the best performance in the second examination for medical degrees 2010-2011. Gold Medal in obstetrics and gynecology. Dr. Pathiraj is currently working as a registrar in pediatrics at the North Colombo Teaching Hospital. K. Tharani Darshika, batch 24. Second class upper division in final MBBS examination with distinctions in physiology, family medicine, forensic medicine, microbiology, parasitology, pathology, public health, medicine and psychiatry. Gold medals. Professor Carlo Fonseca Gold Medal for best overall performance 2011-2012. Venerable Ratmalane Sri Dhammaloka Thero Gold Medal for best performance 2011-2012. Gold Medal for best performance at second examination for medical degrees 2018. Gold Medal in public health and psychiatry. Dr. Darshika currently works at the Blood Bank, National Hospital of Sri Lanka. It is now time for the highlight of this evening, the inaugural Carlo Fonseca Memorial Lecture. To read the citation of the orator tonight, I would like to invite Madam Dean, Senior Professor Janaki Heva Vicente, to the podium.
Professor Janaka De Silva is Senior Professor and Chair of Medicine, Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya, and Consultant Physician, Colombo North Teaching Hospital. He was formerly Dean of Medicine, University of Kelaniya, succeeding the Founder Dean, Professor Carlo Fonseca, in 1997. However, Professor Carlo Fonseca himself steadfastly declares in his essay as the Founder Dean, I quote, "I unofficially co-opted Professor Janaka De Silva as co-founder dean. The trick worked. I looked after the politics of this institution and he did the rest. My work gave stability to the faculty. His work endowed it with the potential for greatness." Professor Janaka De Silva has acted as Director of the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, University of Colombo, Chairman National Research Council, and a member of the University Grants Commission and the Sri Lanka Medical Council. Professor De Silva was educated at Royal College, Colombo, and holds degrees from the Universities of Colombo at a time where his mentor, Professor Carlo Fonseca, was teaching physiology, and from Oxford. He is a Fellow of the Royal College of Physicians, London, Ceylon College of Physicians, and the National Academy of Sciences, Sri Lanka, an Honorary Fellow of the Royal Australasian College of Physicians, the Royal College of Physicians of Thailand, and the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons, Glasgow. He was the President of the Ceylon College of Physicians in 2004. Professor De Silva has a wide array of research interests and has co-authored over 300 articles in peer-reviewed journals with a Google H-index of 55. He is the recipient of national and international research awards, including the inaugural Committee of Vice Chancellors and Directors Lifetime Excellence Award for the most outstanding researcher in medical and allied sciences, and several presidential research awards. Recently, he was included in the world's top 2% scientists career-wide database 1996 to 2019, compiled by the Stanford University, USA. He is editor emeritus of the Ceylon Medical Journal, former editor of the online appendix of Kumar and Clark's Clinical Medicine, and has held editorial positions in leading medical journals. He serves on committees in health and research organizations, including the WHO, the Wellcome Trust, the National Institute of Health Research, UK. In 2006, he was awarded the titular honor of Vidya Jyoti, the nation's highest award for science. Professor Janaka De Silva was the unanimous consideration of the faculty to deliver this lecture as the most suitable person. He was more than just a mere student or disciple of Professor Carlo Fonseca. Professor Fonseca's admiration and respect for Professor Janaka De Silva is exemplified in some of the references to him he has made on many occasions. On one such occasion, he refers to Professor Janaka De Silva as the greatest contributor to the field of medicine as professor, physician, researcher, and administrator among all his students for nearly 4 decades. Professor Janaka De Silva will now deliver the Carlo Fonseca Memorial Lecture to honor and pay tribute to a man who has carved the future of this faculty with his superior intellect, creativity, and extraordinary leadership qualities. Professor De Silva, may I invite you to deliver the lecture?
Madam Pearl Fonseca, members of the family of Professor Carlo Fonseca, Your Lordship, Justice Yasantha Kodagoda, Professor Kapila Pereira, Secretary of Education, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Dr. Pali Tabekon, Consultant to the World Health Organization, Vice Chancellor, Dean of Medicine, Dean of Science of the University of Kelaniya, distinguished guests, colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen, including those joining us online. I first thank the faculty board for selecting me to deliver this, the first Carlo Fonseca Memorial Lecture. It is a great honor and privilege. Some may wonder what unique qualification I have to be chosen to deliver the inaugural Carlo Fonseca Lecture. other than, of course, outright cronyism. But very few in this audience, apart from his children, have had the privilege of sitting on his knee and listening to his stories. This was in the United Kingdom, where in the mid-1960s, he and my father were postgraduate students. The stories were both bribe and reward for chaperoning his daughter Indunil, who is in the audience tonight, to the school that she and I attended. That is how long I knew him for, over 55 years. First, as a little boy, spellbound by his stories, then as a medical student, captivated by his teaching, and subsequently as a junior colleague in the university. Ladies and gentlemen, in Shakespeare's play, when Mark Antony delivered his funeral oration for Julius Caesar, he begins by saying, "Friends, Romans, and countrymen, lend me your ears. I have come to bury Caesar, not to praise him." Antony then continues by damning the conspirators with faint praise, obliquely raising public anger at Caesar's assassination. This evening, however, there will be nothing faint nor oblique about my lecture, which intends to unabashedly celebrate the memory of one of Sri Lanka's greatest intellectuals, Professor Carlo Fonseca. Carlo Fonseca was born on the 4th of March 1933 and passed away on the 2nd of September 2019, aged 86 years. He was educated at Maristella College, Negombo, and St. Joseph's College, Colombo. And after school, in 1955, he joined the University of Ceylon's Faculty of Medicine in Colombo. He graduated MBBS in 1960 with a first class and the Perry exhibition for the best performance at the final MBBS. In 1962, he joined the University of Ceylon's Department of Physiology in Colombo as a lecturer. And in 1966, he obtained a PhD from the University of Edinburgh and returned to Ceylon in 1967. He was a professor in that department from 1982 to 1989. In 1991, as its founder dean, he took on the challenge of establishing a new faculty of medicine for the University of Kelaniya, when the North Colombo Medical College was vested in the state after a prolonged period of civil unrest. He served as its dean until 1997. Professor Fonseca was also a member of the University Grants Commission and chairman of the Board of Management of the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, Colombo. He was awarded honorary fellowships by the Ceylon College of Physicians, the Sri Lanka College of General Practitioners, and after his retirement, he was awarded emerita professorships from both the University of Colombo and the University of Kelaniya. Professor Fonseca was chairman of the National Authority on Tobacco and Alcohol and was one of the 6th South Asia region awardees of the World No Tobacco 2012 Awards. And well into his retirement in 2012, he was appointed president of the Sri Lanka Medical Council, a post that he held for 5 years. Professor Carlo Fonseca was also actively engaged in the arts and in Sri Lankan politics. He obtained a MA degree in Buddhist studies from the University of Kelaniya in 1999, served as president of the Arts Council of Sri Lanka, a very rare honor for a scientist, and was decorated by the government of Japan for his services to strengthening the bond of friendship between Sri Lanka and Japan through enhanced cultural interaction. He was a lyricist and composer producing a number of albums, including Karloch the Gi, Rattarang Due, and Koida Kia. He also composed our faculty anthem, which you will hear at the end of this meeting. Politically, the firebrand orator Carlo Fonseca was a prominent member of the Trotskyite Lanka Samasamaja Party, the LSSP. He was a member of the party's Central Committee and Politburo and led its branch in Kotte. Professor Carlo Fonseca was then a modern-day polymath, a doctor, teacher, public speaker, political activist, philosopher, musician, and lyric writer. To me, he was teacher, mentor, advisor, and friend. Our personal bond was very strong and was never broken. That is, however, not to say that he and I had no differences in opinion on life in general or in our likes and dislikes, and this was certainly not limited to politics. Once when he was writing the lyrics and composing music for one of his songs, I very tactlessly told him that I didn't think very much of modern Sinhala music. He retorted that he thought anyone who liked, let alone played rugby, meaning me, had to have an IQ of a monkey. At another time, during one of our most serious conversations, I self-righteously told him, "The public of this country has paid for my education, sir, so that I can serve them and the country by doing what I was actually trained to do, to be a physician, teach my students medicine, and do scientific research. Not waste my time on endless waffle about what Karl Marx or Bertrand Russell would have said about this, that, or the other." Lamenting the fact that he thought that I had not had a proper liberal education and was not as widely read in philosophy and politics as I ought to have been, he said, "Janaka, you may be a professor of medicine who can do wonders with an endoscope and publish hundreds of research papers, but to me, that doesn't make you much more than a good technician. The only saving grace is your interest in history and archaeology. It is still not too late. Go educate yourself." It was a stinging rebuke, one from which I took some time to recover, and I have tried to improve my education ever since. Prof. Carlo, as we affectionately referred to him, and I will do in the rest of my talk, was a free thinker. Religious bigotry, racism, homophobia, and misogyny had no place in his worldview. As ever, he sometimes went a bit too far for the more polite sections of our society. For example, his tongue-in-cheek advice to parents on the marriage of their children was that they should definitely marry only Homo sapiens. He was a liberal to his core, and because I liked a degree of discipline and order, he considered me at times to be autocratic. Relative to him, I suppose I was. Despite these differences of opinion, on which we amicably agreed to disagree, because I always respected him as my teacher, he and I shared many values. Chief among them being an unshakable commitment to free education and healthcare, a passion for teaching, and an enduring love for this faculty. So this evening, I will confine the rest of this lecture to Professor Carlo Fonseca, the academic and university administrator, and not Professor Carlo Fonseca, the polymath. Prof. Carlo was quite simply one of the best lecturers, if not the best, I have ever listened to, and I have been around. When teaching, he was good-natured and non-threatening. He never ever singled out students for ridicule. His lectures were simple, fluent, and entertaining. The take-home message was always clear, and the language would vary widely from the sophistication of stating Claude Bernard's concept of the milieu intérieur, the internal environment in French, to crude Sinhalese mnemonics to help us students remember things. For example, the mnemonic he made up for symptoms of obstructive jaundice, which you get when your bile ducts are blocked, which are jaundice, itching, dark-colored urine, and pale-colored stools, was, and I quote, "Kahanawo kahanawo, as dekat kahawuno, chu nikang te wage, gu nikang mati wage." I still remember it, word for word, after nearly 45 years. At the start of my academic career in Peradeniya, I presented a paper at the Sri Lanka Medical Association. Prof. Carlo was in the audience. After the lecture, he told me, "The science was good, but there were a few spelling mistakes in your slides, and your arms were waving like the wings of a bat out of hell." His advice to budding lecturers like me at that time was, first, lecture to a mirror so that you can see how funny you look and sound with all the unnecessary gestures and mispronunciations you make in order that you can correct them. He stressed the importance of careful preparation for lectures. And ladies and gentlemen, I prepared nearly 2 months for this one. However short or whoever the audience, the painstaking attention to detail so that there be not a single spelling or grammatical error, timing the lecture to the minute, and always keeping to the script, even the jokes in between planned. He explained the art of making students relax by saying, "You look so worried. Don't be. I knew much less than you when I was a student." To be pleasant and never to intimidate or bully, simply because terrified students didn't learn. He said, when lecturing, target the lower than average students, because it is they who must understand what we have to teach most. And if they don't understand you, you should accept that it is you who have failed. Just try harder. Ladies and gentlemen, no textbook of medical education has explained the core principles of effective teaching and lecturing to me with such great clarity. Although his doctoral thesis on the regulation of growth hormone entered standard textbooks of physiology, Prof. Carlo was not a researcher in the way we now measure researchers, mechanically, by how many papers they have published, their H index, or whether they were named in Stanford University's list of the top researchers. In his time, by these measures, neither were many other academics in our university system. But Prof was a scientist. His rationalist brain could not accept a benevolent, all-powerful creator of everything, or the existence of supernatural beings. He was convinced of the superiority of science over false beliefs and demanded and relentlessly searched for evidence. One famous example is the manner in which he proved that the ritual of firewalking did not need divine intervention, but rather moving very nimbly over the hot embers, thereby reducing the contact time between the embers and the person's feet. And to bury the myth of the religious significance attached to firewalking once and for all, it is said that Prof. Carlo and his volunteers deliberately enjoyed a sacrilegious snack of pork and arak just before their firewalk. Not surprisingly, the holy men had been furious and had collectively cursed him. But science had triumphed. As a scientist and thinker, Prof. Carlo concerned himself more with the foundations, methods, and implications of science, the philosophy of science, particularly in relation to medicine. In his short but thought-provoking paper published in the British Medical Journal in 1996 entitled "To Err Was Fatal," he starts by writing, "Error-free patient care is the ideal standard, but in reality unattainable. I am conscious of having made 5 fatal errors during the past 36 years. The key messages in that short paper capture some basic truths about the practice of clinical medicine. That all doctors are fallible. The natural reaction of doctors to errors is to hide them or to rationalize them away. It is unscientific and unethical to refuse to face our errors. There is no cathartic ritual in our profession to expiate the sense of guilt generated by our errors. And since knowledge grows mainly by error recognition, facing our errors squarely is the path to medical wisdom." And he ends the paper by writing, "Although Alexander Pope did indeed famously preach that to err is human, to forgive divine, it will be murmured that only a fool will err fatally 5 times in 36 years. If, however, by confessing to the world, a fool could help to promote ever so slightly the ideal of error-free patient care, I believe that the fool has a scientific and ethical duty to confess." Now, there is no doubt that Prof. Carlo was being too hard on himself, because we all know how common ill health or adverse effects resulting from medical treatment are. But he delighted in provoking his audience with uncomfortable truths. And this time, it was the turn of the medical profession. As an administrator, Prof. Carlo was the only dean that I know of who had more trouble than me reading and understanding financial statements and audit reports. And that's saying a lot. His desk, as some of you know, was a chaotic heap of documents piled high. And for me, who liked a bit of neatness, the mess on his desk was pure torture to behold each time I visited his office. But the mess and the lack of financial insight aside, I learned more about good administration and management from Prof. Carlo than I did by reading or listening to lectures given by acclaimed experts on the subject. His management style was simply to lead by example. he was fixated on fairness and merit, and always took responsibility for and fearlessly admitted to his mistakes. Disruptive students who had openly defied and were hostile to him and were then apprehensive and worried about their future in the medical school ended up passing examinations with flying colors. And Prof. Carlo would call them to his office and personally congratulate them. When a student had failed in a subject which was later, sometimes much later, discovered to have been due to an error in the entry or computation of marks, he would take the revised marks to the University Senate, admit and take responsibility for the mistake, bear all the criticism, but make sure that the student concerned passed. Part of this was because he was a naturally kind man who went out of his way to help students. He once told me, discipline students when necessary, but never ever harm them, because they are children who have been entrusted to us to nurture for 5 years and then to send out to serve society. In 1991, when he was appointed Dean of the new Faculty of Medicine in the University of Kelaniya, he faced two choices. The much safer one was to go along with the establishment and the political powers of that time, curry their favor, follow traditional wisdoms, and pack the faculty with very senior and well-connected teachers, many of whom were retired from government service. The other was to chart the more difficult but exciting and futuristic course for the fledgling faculty, one that would, in his own words, endow the faculty with a sense of special identity and an understanding of how future medical education should be organized. He firmly and decisively rejected the first option. I don't want this young faculty full of tired and retired people, he famously told the vacillating then Vice Chancellor and University Council. I was present at the meeting as a new Senate nominee to the Council. Gradually wearing them down by the sheer force of his argument, he single-handedly got his way. As a result, in the early years, our faculty had few academic staff, so recruitment had to go on apace. As the Dean, Prof. Carlo insisted on recruiting only the highest achievers, not who's who. Preference was given to those who were or had the potential to be good researchers. Mediocre institutional inbreeding was more or less taboo. It was merit and ability above all else. As word of his fairness and transparency spread, the university received floods of applications when posts in the medical faculty were advertised. Spoiled for choice, the faculty was, for the most part, able to recruit bright young academics who have since ensured the strong research culture that is seen in Ragama today. Prof. Carlo rejoiced in, never envied their success, another hallmark of an exceptional teacher and human being. He was also a genius at the art of delegation, a skill that I enthusiastically learned from him and practiced as an administrator myself with some considerable success. In an article on the history of our faculty, he wrote, given the incendiary circumstances in which the faculty was conceived and struggled to be born, my greatest achievement was that the faculty did not flounder under my stewardship. On the contrary, it flourished. The secret of why it flourished must not die with me. The only art I have mastered is taking credit by getting others to do the blooming work. I believe that a new institution will flourish if able young people have executive power to run it. But he did not throw his able young people to the crocodiles. He took time and effort to mentor and guide them. Never publicly say or write anything in anger, because even if you regret it later, the damage will already have been done. One of the best pieces of advice he gave at that time to young hotheads like me. It was said in the presence of our current Vice Chancellor, who will vouch for me. Prof. Carlo was a Democrat and would let discussions at meetings go on for hours, much to the annoyance of some of us. But his reasoning was unfaultable. Let all who want to express their views. Sometimes a good idea or solution to a difficult problem may materialize, but more importantly, people should feel that they have been heard. Despite this, he was very brief when talking about himself. At the last meeting before he retired, members of the University Senate paid glowing tributes to him, one after the other. When after about an hour, it finally came for his time to respond, he stood up and memorably said, "I will be brief, thank you," and sat down. As the Vice Chancellor said, as Dean, Prof. Carlo was also instrumental in establishing 2 new disciplines at Ragama. In retrospect, both were very far-sighted decisions. One was family medicine, for which he had to overcome fierce resistance from some quarters. The other was disability studies, an area still unique to Ragama in the university system, which has grown from a small unit to a fully fledged department awarding its own degree, now working out of the state-of-the-art Ayati National Center, which cares for thousands of disabled children from all over our country. This was then, in a nutshell, Professor Carlo Fonseca, the legendary teacher, philosopher, scientist, and university administrator with his own unique style, from whom we learn so much. By the time he retired in 1998, he had set the stage for our faculty to progress along very distinctive lines, guiding it from being, at its inception, a thorn in the side of our university by the political turmoil it caused, to becoming a jewel in its crown. But there was so much more to this great man, who, though not without flaws, was full of human goodness. He was royalty among Sri Lankan academics. Despite this, he was a simple man with simple, sometimes quirky tastes. For example, he disliked wearing socks, an aversion I recently learned that he shared with no less a person than Albert Einstein. And when rarely he wore a tie, one of an old stringy pair that was already knotted and hanging in his office, more often than not, it did not match his shirt. One day, dressed in a particularly badly matching tie and shirt, and without socks of course, I dropped him off for an event for which he was the chief guest. I then saw him looking helpless after what seemed like an animated discussion with the security guard at the entrance to the building. I stopped the car, got out, and went up to them, just in time to hear Prof. Carlo appealing in Sinhalese, "Please, son, I am the chief guest." To which the guard replied, "That doesn't matter. If you want to go in, show me your invitation." It took me a few minutes to explain to the rather dull guard that the person who he was not allowing into the building was Professor Carlo Fonseca, the chief guest. The guard nearly fell to his knees. Prof. Carlo smiled, patted the guard on his shoulder, and thanked him for finally letting him go in. This was so typical of the man, and a lesson to us all that a true king wears his crown lightly on his head. And for me, his devoted student, what more can I ask for than to see my portrait hanging right beside his in our boardroom? Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the medical faculties of Colombo and Kelaniya have fought for Prof. Carlo's affection and still do to claim ownership of his memory. But we all know who won. Because what better way for him to show where his heart really was than his final wish to donate his mortal remains to the faculty that he founded and loved. Thank you for your attention and good night.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderfully delivered lecture. It's always a pleasure to listen to you. The Conference Organizing Committee has worked tirelessly over the past year to make this event a reality. It would not have been possible without the support of many. I would now like to call upon Professor Anuradhani Kasturiratne, co-chairperson of the Conference Organizing Committee, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Latika. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya marks its 30th anniversary this year. Our 30th year has been a year like no other. The COVID-19 pandemic has posed great challenges and stretched us to our very limits, both professionally and personally. Since our 10th anniversary in 2001, we have been celebrating our anniversary every 5th year with a medical exhibition for the general public, drawing massive crowds to our premises in Ragama over many days. At each one of these events, Professor Carlo Fonseca has been with us. Sadly, the world has changed so much over the last 2 years or so, leaving us at the dawn of a different era in human existence. It has been a great privilege for us to organize the inaugural Carlo Fonseca Memorial Lecture to honor our founder dean. This is the inaugural event of our 30th anniversary academic sessions. As someone who has been fortunate enough to be a student of this great visionary, I am honored to propose the vote of thanks tonight. On behalf of the Academic Sessions Subcommittee of the 30th anniversary celebrations, I would like to thank Madam Pearl Fonseca and the family of Professor Carlo Fonseca for being here with us when we celebrate his life and times and the great contribution he made to medicine and science. We are privileged to have our honored guests, His Lordship Justice Yasantha Kodagoda, Justice of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka, and Mrs. Kodagoda, Professor Kapila Perera, Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, Chairman of the University Grants Commission, and Dr. Palitha Abbekon, Consultant to the World Health Organization, in this distinguished audience. We thank you for finding the time to participate in this important occasion. I wish to extend our deep appreciation to Vidyajyoti Professor Janaka De Silva, our orator tonight. You were the undisputed esteemed choice of the Faculty Board of Medicine for the unique task of delivering the inaugural Carlo Fonseca Memorial Lecture. You may have been the closest to his heart of all his students over a teaching career spanning over 40 years in both faculties of medicine in Colombo and Kelaniya. And sir, you have bestowed a fitting tribute to your beloved teacher and senior colleague tonight. My heartfelt gratitude goes to Madam Vice Chancellor, Senior Professor Nilanthi De Silva, for gracing this occasion and for all the guidance and support we receive from you every day. The university will reach new heights under your leadership, and we are really proud to be a part of it. I would also like to thank our Dean, Senior Professor Janaki Heva Vicente, who has been the strength behind everything we do. Through success and failure, you have borne with us patiently and led us in the right direction, for which we are ever so grateful to you, Madam. I would like to thank the deans of other faculties of University of Kelaniya and all the senior professors and chair professors of the Faculty of Medicine for being with us today on this memorable occasion. My gratitude also goes to the Registrar, University of Kelaniya, the Bursa, University of Kelaniya, Senior Assistant Registrar, Senior Assistant Bursa, and the Assistant Registrar, Faculty of Medicine for their valuable support for organizing this event. We wish to thank the Research Council, University of Kelaniya, and our sponsors for their generous contributions towards this event. Special thanks goes to our event partners, Vidya Lankara Printers, Impress Events, Crescent Flowers, and Tasty Caterers. We are grateful to the Media Unit and the Information and Communication Center, University of Kelaniya, for their support. We also thank the staff of the offices of the Senior Assistant Registrar and the Senior Assistant Bursa at the Faculty of Medicine, and our staff members, especially Ms. Nandini Padmakumari, Mr. Kishan Vasala, and Mr. Tilak Panasinghe, for their contribution and unstinted support. We are very grateful also to the maintenance and landscaping sections and to the security services of the faculty. I would like to extend special thanks to the student committee of the 30th anniversary academic sessions, headed by Mr. Udaran Selvaratnam and Mr. Pasindu Walisinghe, and ably supported by the Secretary, Ms. Priyanjala Sumanasekara. The committee worked with such dedication and commitment and was a great strength to us. We greatly appreciate the creative contributions of Mr. Janindu Karunaratne and Mr. Tikshana Jayawardena. Lastly, let me thank everyone who is joining with us online. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Madam. Professor Carlo Fonseca was a man who wore many hats. He was an acclaimed lyricist, and the anthem of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya, is one such beautiful contribution he left behind for us. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the faculty anthem.
සවියෙන් ඉපැරණි කැලණියේ වෙදවරමක් අපටයි ලැබෙනුයේ රෝදුක නිවන දහම එය වේ අපේ දහම මතුදා අපේ ජීවිතේ රෝදුක නිවන දහම එය වේ අපේ දහම මතුදා අපේ ජීවිතේ මෙතරක් නැති මතුලක් නැති සයුරක් වෙනි මෙතරක් නැති මෙතරක් නැති මතුලක් නැති සයුරක් වෙනි සරසවියෙන් ඉපැරණි කැලණියේ වෙදවරමක් අපටයි ලැබෙනුයේ රෝදුක නිවන දහම එය වේ අපේ දහම මතුදා අපේ ජීවිතේ රෝදුක නිවන දහම එය වේ අපේ දහම මතුදා අපේ ජීවිතේ සුව අනියතයි රෝදමයයි සුවයයි දුකයි පොදු ඉරණමයි සුව අනියතයි රෝදමයයි සරසවියෙන් ඉපැරණි කැලණියේ වෙදවරමක් අපටයි ලැබෙනුයේ රෝදුක නිවන දහම් එය වේ අපේ දහම් මතුදා අපේ ජීවිතේ රෝදුක නිවන දහම් එය වේ අපේ දහම් මතුදා අපේ ජීවිතේ
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, we conclude today's proceedings, and we would like to cordially invite you all to the reception outside. Have a pleasant evening. And I also request you to please keep standing for the procession to leave the hall. Thank you.